Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Spring 2020, where we just witnessed Gen.G steal away a victory from T1 right out of their hands. There were so many opportunities for Ula to go down, but he didn't, and then he won the game.
Yeah, maybe it was boring 30 minutes, but five minutes of intense team fights were just hyping me so much. And I'm not sure who deserves the POG right there, because BDD's Zilean also played really well.
Yeah, he did. And
he just picked up Zilean at 1-2-3. It was just unusual ban picks, but he showed the reason why he picked up Zilean early.
And also now 2-0 on the pick so far. Certainly doing very well in the LCK thus far. Also, I think Zilean's only lost once. And that was with Ixu piloting it and not having the greatest time, trying to build a Spell Thieves in top lane and all that sort of weird stuff. But even he has found some success on the champion in recent weeks. And as far as round 2 is concerned, Zilean is currently 3-0. So we'll see whether he's going to make a resurgence here or maybe even get banned away.
I mean, I'm just so happy that all the 10 players are playing so good, especially this player, Roland.
Oh, yeah.
Who got just 1k kills in LCK right now.
Yep, and actually he's sitting on 1,005 after getting 7 in this game. So certainly doing a whole bunch of work. 34.2% of his team's damage, as well as it's this one moment that he picked up the play of the game for. Because honestly, the game was almost over. And look at that. I mean, Faker going super deep to try and get that kill. And they just didn't realize that this Cloud Drake stacking that Gen.G have been doing gives so many chrono shifts. That's 2 basically in a team fight, if you count the beginning of this that T1 managed to take, being part of the same team fight. And then after that quadra kill, just nothing that T1 could do.
I mean, I was so glad that I could watch this 5 minutes of team fight, because it was just so fun to watch, and all of 10 players played really well. But just a lucky side was Gen.G.
Yeah.
And also, it was shining damage dealer line again. Not T1 side, it was Gen.G side. And BDD and Rula.
But, and like, the team fight just before that, Teddy and Faker played so damn well. So I feel like everyone was certainly doing their job. I think the only questionable part of the whole thing was the Akali pickup. I don't know whether the Akali pickup was all that impactful as far as like any sort of counter pick to the Ornn up there towards the top side, but we'll have to see. And now BDD, if he can get 20 kills in the next possible 2 games, he might be joining Ruler with 1,000 kills.
And he might be just go over the ambition this game.
Yeah, potentially.
This game. Yeah, potentially. And also, one thing is proved. Ornn is broken.
Yes, he is. Ornn and Aphelios are both broken.
Yeah.
You should never get them both on the one team. That's just silly. As now we'll see whether T1 are going to pay attention to that and maybe ban away a few of these broken champions.
Luckily, we have Coach Kim on the T1 side, who is adapting so fast during the game I ever seen in my life. So I think he's not gonna ignore Ornn.
I hope not, but you can see this ban phase is going incredibly quickly. Gen.G not going to let through the Aphelios this time. Because, of course, being first pick certainly means that you get to take some of these gambles. There's now T1 taking their time, trying to work out what their first pick is going to be. Of course, Zoe banned away, BDD, an incredible Zoe player, probably the best in the LCK at the moment. Faker, no slouch either, and very confident on his Zoe, if we remember back to some of the interviews with Faker when he was talking about that. But the Varus is going to be taken off the board and will mean that T1 can comfortably go for a first pick Azir if they would like to. But it will give Gen.G a lot of options, and they can also just ban that one away. So T1 with either Ornn or Kalista really standing out as their first picks, and Kalista is going to be the choice.
Senna is open.
Oh my god.
Senna and Ornn is open, by the way.
Yeah, you could actually
so Gen.G can take both.
Yeah, you could lock in Senna and Ornn and then just accept that T1 are probably going to pick the Taric and then guarantee your Tahm Kench. And if you get Senna, Tahm Kench, Ornn, I don't understand how you lose, actually.
You can't say that, man. You're gonna curse the Gen.G side.
I want to curse Gen.G so that we get 3 games.
That's
true.
That's
the plan.
I mean, if they get Senna and Ornn at the same time, then their comp looks already really strong. It doesn't matter what partner they have. It's just about Senna and Ornn.
Oh yeah. Well, it looks like Clid is going to very highly prioritize this Rek'Sai. That's really curious.
I mean, his Rek'Sai was fine,
troll.
but Ornn, man.
The dream.
Yeah.
This is so scary. We did. This is so scary.
It's already way too scary.
But they do have the Silas counterpick option. We did see this work out very well for Hanwha Life.
And I think they're just
LeBlanc. Just pick LeBlanc, please.
Between Taric and Tahm Kench, but they just decide to pick Kalista Taric, which is a great combo in a whole game.
Yeah, that's true.
Early, mid, late game. But also, Senna Tahm Kench is considering as OP because their early game, mid game, late game is just way too good.
And also, it feels like you just get more money in the early game also. Like, because you get to eat up all of those souls, and then Tahm Kench is going CS for CS with the enemy AD carry. Like, Tahm Kench is really strong, but Senna is also really strong.
Oh, maybe this game we can see Black Cleaver Senna, by the way.
Oh.
I just witnessed it yesterday in solo queue, and just one random Senna player just built the Black Cleaver, and I asked why you are building Senna, Black Cleaver on Senna, and he answers that if you auto attack and uses Q skill, then you instantly get 4 stacks with the Black Cleaver.
Because of Piercing Darkness doing all of those weird things as far as like proccing auto attack damage. Oh damn, I hadn't even thought of that.
And also you can get upgrade on the Ornn item.
Oh, that's true.
So that is just also great. So maybe you can see that in this game.
Well, we'll see whether Ruler is going to go towards it. Maybe he hasn't done that deep research into the solo queue play, but I'd be excited to see it, as understandably the LeBlanc is going to be banned away. Gen.G not wanting to blind pick that one into T1, and also not wanting to let Faker play that champion, as we do have Zoe, LeBlanc, and Azir all banned, and that's going to even things up as far as how mid lane matchup is concerned. You saw just how good Faker was on the Azir in the last game. The Elise is going to be the final ban here from T1, is now cleared. Still has the ability to go towards Rek'Sai if you would like to.
Pantheon.
Oh,
do not bring the team comp, please.
But actually, if you think about it, Woodid, if you're going to build the Black Cleaver,
Rek'Sai.
It could work, you know, because you're buffing all of the extra damage. But I think the Rek'Sai does make a lot more sense, and now you can counterpick.
Yes, yes.
Oh my god,
Rek'Sai is so much better.
Dude, are they gonna do it?
Oh.
Do we get Gragas and Faker's Yasuo?
Nah, that's not gonna happen, man.
Oh, I want it so bad. I mean, Kaz's Gragas is probably the best in the LCK, so that is definitely a good idea.
They need 80 damage, by the way, if they lock in the Gragas right here.
Just give us Yasuo. Give us the Yasuo.
Please.
I need it.
Yasuo is just perfect here.
Oh, God, Renekton's not. It's not perfect.
That's not perfect.
Give us the Yasuo. Tell me you're trolling us. Please, Coach Kim. Please, Coach Kim.
I mean, currently in Korea, Pantheon is being a meta, because one famous singer just sings about the Pantheon. But
I know, I listened to that song, it's actually amazing. But Faker is going to go for the mid Tristana instead.
Oh, it's come back, man.
Okay, we're going full circle.
I think that one pick is from Faker.
Yep.
That when they played against Damwon game.
It was in game 1, their first match of the season, actually.
Yeah, and he went to the top side, a top lane against Naguri, and he just soloed.
Yeah, he smashed him.
Yeah.
As BDD thinking about the Cassiopeia. Alright, that's going to deny a lot of the fun that T1's having. Cassio into the Kalista is fantastic. You feel like you just can't do anything into that champion.
Yeah, I mean, I really think Gen.G won the draft, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, their draft is way more balanced and way more strong, it seems like. Just champion-wise, they have easy to play, and they have low risk but high return. But T1 side, I think they are kind of high risk and high return, and I'm not sure if that return is bigger than Gen.G.
I think it's just really cool that Gen.G have understood that T1 are going to prioritize the Kalista and then allow it to go through so that T1 has to tunnel on those picks, and then they get things like Ornn and Senna in this particular composition, because they understand T1's bottom lane is always going to be strong. And so you may as well let them be strong, understand that Ruler and Life can play against it, and then just get advantages elsewhere on the map. And it looks like that's what they've done. But T1 this game do have answers to like the Ornn with the Sylas, which is certainly a very good pickup there. Cuz is on his Gragas, which can affect the early game very well gank-wise. I felt like last game it was Rek'Sai and Olaf just power farming throughout the early game, which is why it was so slow, especially after Clid's failed gank on the top side. This time, with the fact that the Sylas is going to go into the Ornn a little bit better, things like that, plus Faker's Tristana, adding some extra scaling into the late game, and also, like, you're a mid-game beast on Tristana as well, so let's just see what T1 can do with their new tools that they have on the Rift.
And yeah, Kana is playing into Ornn this time again with his favorite champion, Sylas, because I even met him yesterday in solo queue.
Oh yeah.
He was playing this exact matchup, and he was playing really good on this matchup. I think he is just really comfortable to play against that champion with the Sylas, I think.
Well, that's definitely some good insight to see whether or not he is going to be comfortable here, because we saw Cuvée smash this matchup. We've actually, LS and I, when we've been watching the Sylas into the Ornn, it just felt like Ornn was still just too strong. But since seeing Cuvée actually really put on a clinic with this particular matchup, I'm starting to become a believer in the Sylas versus Ornn. But we'll just see whether it is going to continue its success as we move in here into game number 2. Faker's Tristana, I think, is like one of those really cool things where he's just so confident on this pick, right?
Yeah.
And it comes out when he's like, I'm just gonna win, and I'm gonna do so by playing aggressively, because his Tristana is super aggressive.
Yeah, he's like, I win early game, and I also win the mid game, and he wins late game.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what we should expect from his Tristana, but also I think BDD's rune choice and summon spell choice was really smart, that he picks the base rush for the exhaust actually, and also Tristana's W slows him. So I don't think Cassiopeia can ever get solo killed by Tristana.
Yeah. And remember, it was blind Tristana into this Cassiopeia as well, so you have to imagine that BDD very comfortable in this matchup because he's decided to go for it.
But there is one interesting choice by BDD. He picked Scorch
over
the Gathering Storm.
Why would you ever pick Scorch in this matchup? Like, as in, like, not the champion matchup?
Because of this 1v1?
Well, that's going to be a lot of damage, as Faker does even out the trade very nicely as the explosive charge goes off. But I like it. None of the players using their flash or their exhaust. Wasn't a true all-in. It was more of a damage check between these two.
Yeah, I mean, some of players really hates who picks the Scorch over the Gathering Storm.
Oh yeah.
Even on the support position. So I'm not sure if it's gonna help Cassiopeia for the getting through early game, or it's gonna harm late game because he didn't get the Gathering Storm.
Well, Rascal playing very aggressively, as you can see here. Actually happy to take a turret shot. Is now cleared. On a ward, but spots it out. And lets the rest of his team know. As you can see, Ruler 3-0 right now. Life 5-0. In their respective champions, Clid 6-0 and 9-0 for Rascal. My god.
I mean, it's just all about win, because they didn't lose any kind of game.
Yeah, that's the thing. They
game.
just haven't lost, and that's why you get win rates that are just this busted. But right now you can see that Teddy and Effort are actually pretty comfortable in this lane, despite the fact that the CS is very close. We're having a look at Cuz on his very famous Gragas. I think there was a moment where I realized that Cuz was better than Score on Gragas. And that was when I realized that Cuz was a great jungler.
Yeah, Score and Gragas.
Hillbilly Gragas.
Iconic duo.
Him and Hillbilly Gragas are like, will forever be associated in my mind.
Well, anyways, they have great mid-jungle synergy right there, so we can expect some great 2v2 from T1 side, but also this is one of the famous combo when you're doing duo queue mid-jungle, Rek'Sai and Cassiopeia, because most of the 2v2 you cannot lose because of the combo that Rek'Sai and Cassio can do.
Oh, that's true.
I don't think they're afraid to take 2v2 even though they have Tristana and Gragas.
Oh, Teddy playing very aggressively here. No, not going to get too much there. It's Faker
they're
going to
not
get knocked
afraid.
up. Good exhaust down onto Clid, but Faker has to flash very early. Clid very close to going down, but Faker used his rocket jump defensively, and now Cuz might just go down to... Oh, the Praise Seeker is enough to do it. I thought the Poison Ticks were going to get there, but nope. Clid says, I'm securing it right now.
That's the combo I was talking about. They just showed how to play Rek'Sai Cassio right here. Rek'Sai just goes in, airborne him, and Cassio all you need to do is just flash and dump. And you cannot jump or flash out. That was just great fight from the Gen.G right there.
Yeah, it looked disgusting. And we're showing just how powerful Clid and B2D are. I mean, all jokes aside, I mean, their synergy goes even into the way that they look. It's just ridiculous. The brothers of mid and jungle.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't even need to win bottom because they have these strong mid jumps.
Yeah, Faker having to wait so long before he flashed, then uses the rocket jump. And I actually think that if he had have stood against that wall, maybe Draw a Bead hadn't actually stacked up enough, so wasn't able to be able to shoot Clid from over the wall. But could have been a chance for something to happen there, but didn't want to be in Twin Fang range or risk anything there. But unfortunately for Cuz, he falls down in that instance and isn't able to get anything here. And this is sort of the moment where you can be aggressive on the Tristana, but if you can't do it, then you're a bit like a Caitlyn. You certainly have a damage fall off in the mid game where you're really wanting to get towards 3 items before you can really add too much. As Clid jumps on over, will find Cuz, but isn't going to be able to steal away any of these Krugs. And now both of these junglers have been identified as far as their position on the map.
Yeah, even though Tristana has great late game because of the passive, still, she's strong point is some of the early game, especially when she gets level 5 or level 6. She's solo kill potential or 2v2 potential is really huge. So he just need to fight it. But right now it seems like Gen.G side has all the pressure in mid jungle right now. We can see it from the...
yeah, it's happening right now.
Plates moving.
As now Canna, possible solo kill here for Rascal, but underneath the turret is the Silas. And he is going to be okay. Have to try and hold my words a little bit when it comes to Silas, because Kingslayer can be very, very misleading. And I didn't quite know whether it was on cooldown in that particular point or not, as Faker will clear out this siege minion. But in the meantime, Gen.G are taking down the Mountain Drake. Next dragon is going to be that Ocean, so we have Infernal Soul or Cloud. But Faker's going to be able to take away a turret plate early on, and that's going to help his gold income as we move further into this game. Because that first death for Cuz certainly wasn't good for Faker either. You saw B2D with a gigantic lead after that particular point.
And again, Gen.G has great late game comp with their champions, so I don't think they're even in a hurry. But also, they got the first Drake, so it's gonna help Gen.G a lot if they have to wait for late game.
Yeah, and also it's a Mountain Drake, which works out with the Tom Kent being much bigger this game, as well as, of course, the Ornn. Yeah, exactly. This is it's a big deal Drake. Probably would have liked a Mountain Soul this game, but beggars can't be choosers, of course.
Yeah, and also Tristana Taric, which is great jump into stun combo. So if they have 3v3 in mid side, that might be great for T1 side, because I don't think Senna in early game can help and impactful more than Taric, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe they need to bring up effort to have some mid skirmishes, or I don't think you can ever compete against the Cassiopeia Rek'Sai combo.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, I feel like whoever starts the fight will have an immediate advantage, right? Because if B2D can get into position with his miasma, then he stops any of these jump combos from ever being a thing, and can just control a team fight from that point onwards. So I think all eyes have to be on B2D as this game goes on, and it's similar to Dove in our earlier series. There's the Ornn, this time thrown out by Canna. Hijack certainly makes things very confusing when it comes to being a commentator, but it's okay. I'll try and keep up, even if it is getting late. It's 11 p.m. right now.
So how should I express it? It's like Ornn ulti by Kanna or Silas, but hijack Ornn ulti by Kanna?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we call it... maybe we need to come up with our Silas version of the Call of the Forge God. Call of the Fake God? I don't know.
Maybe you should just call it Fake Ornn.
Yeah, maybe we could, that does make sense. Okay, I'll try and remember. Yeah. We'll see how we go. As they're fighting once again, hijack not available just yet. Half of that cooldown has been brought up. As T1 should be able to take the Rift Herald here. Good rotation from them as they move immediately up towards the top side. A possible dive attempt here. As you can see, the Ornn is down to half health. Now Kanna dashing on forward. He won't have ulti in time, but it looks like Teddy and Effort are going to go for this one. Fate's Call going to be available as well. As there's the Ornn Horn, but they do have the ulti out of the Taric, and this should be a very easy dive. Teddy picks that one up, and that was so clean. Gen.G on the bottom side are going to be able to take some turret plates, but that will be answered up here on the top side of the map, and the kill will go over as well. Plus, they managed to get the Rift Herald. This is all T1.
Yeah, I mean T1 has better advantage on this because of being header. I don't think Gen.G can make it in time. And eventually they're gonna go for second turret because they're still stuck on the turret.
Yep, that last plate did go down. The first turret bonus, while it's not super big anymore, is still going to be there for T1. And so they'll get this luxury turret most likely as well as this inner turret gets decimated by Shelly.
Well, at some point T1 was kind of in a bad position because they lost the mid jungle 2v2, but it was really great rotation by T1 both sides, which is managed to get the top side kill, managed to get the header, and managed to get the first turret even though they are losing mid jungle. It was all great by their rotation.
Yeah, really clean stuff. I actually loved it. Understanding that Gen.G were investing into the bottom side and then saying, well, we don't care. We're just going to move towards top side, grab the Herald. It's a really standard play, though. I think it's surprising to me that Rascal was unaware that Teddy and Effort were going to be in the area because this was such an easy dive. Just absolutely nothing that Rascal could do.
I mean, if it was communicated, I don't think Rascal can ever stand for the turret. So yeah. I don't think it was communicated that well. But kind of expected, but still Teddy and Effort was a little bit faster than they expected, so that's why they could make it, I feel like.
And also, did you see that Teddy just throws a Pierce into the brush randomly and stops Life's back at exactly the right time? That is a huge filter. He had no vision of that area. Probably saw the Tahm Kench going into the brush or something like that, but just to throw that one out and land it, oh, that's frustrating if you're the Tahm Kench.
I mean, that's the small factor that it makes a huge difference between good player and best player.
Yeah.
Everyone can be good player, but those small things are having huge difference.
Yeah, it's the difference between being good and being great, right? And of course, there are a lot of players in this game that are certainly very, very much on the great side. As the Ocean Drake being taken right now by Gen.G. They've already got the mountain, and they secure this one as well as there's the Ornn Horn, but it's not going to be thrown back. As it's another Cloud Soul. My God. Every time. We don't have a zillion to abuse at this time either.
Yeah, and they didn't want to fight here, T1, because they didn't have Taric ulti in the right timing, so they just tried to steal it with the Gragas ulti and Smite at the same time, but they have Cleat. He never misses Smite.
He's very good at smiting, and T1 should have known that, of course, being a former T1 jungler. I also like that T1 didn't fight there because they're waiting for Blade of the Ruin King timings, which is a big power spike for both the Tristana and the Kalista.
For sure. At that timing, I think T1 really needs to snowball. Maybe tries to force with the Ornn ulti, fake Ornn ulti on the top side, or something else. Because I don't think they're gonna have fun time with the Ornn late game.
Yeah, they need to start moving this game faster. I mean, I think they learned in the last game that, yes, they can still play out the late game with this sort of more Kalista Taric-based late game, but it's not enough if they give Gen.G anything. Plus, Gen.G are once again in that position where their late game is so strong. So, down to 11.
Oh, 11. was
that's
close.
very close. That's to the point where it is just straight up a 50-50. But a good attempt there from Tez.
And Teddy got his item. He's hitting his power spike right now compared to enemy AD carry.
Yeah, this is big. And also has the Executioner's Calling as well to deny all of Ruler's healing that he is going to have available to him with the Piercing Darkness. This is one of those games where, I mean, last time we were looking at the Merlinomicon from Canna being like, that's a bit weird. But this time, definitely a good choice up against Senna.
And Cassiopeia.
Oh yeah, true. And Tom Kench.
And Tom Kench.
Certainly a lot of healing is now Ruler taking a bit of damage here from Teddy. But they're just going to be defending this mid lane. You can see a whole bunch of gold is on Teddy right now. He's only got 1 kill, but he's been farming like a beast this game. Currently even with BDD at this point in time when it comes to that farm. And BDD face check. Oh, he has nowhere to go. Teddy locks down his 2nd kill.
That reminds me, Faker, that at game 1. So each mid laners just have some giveaway to each other.
Hey, there we go. Now they're even. Now it can be
now they're
even 1v1.
Maybe from game 1 we might think BDD is better than Faker, but from that mistake, yeah, BDD is also human. He made a mistake, and that was just free giveaway.
Yeah, just didn't quite have the vision control that they wanted, as Faker just solos down this turret very easily now that it's been removed of all of its plates. And this is what side lane Tristana can do. Remember, Rocket Jump gives you a lot of safety. So you were talking about, you know, Zoe in a side lane in our earlier series today, like, doesn't necessarily work out. Tristana, in a weird way, even though she's an AD carry, is still very strong in a side lane and relatively safe with the Buster Shot and the Rocket Jump.
Yeah, for sure. Better side laner when you can play aggressive. And even though he saw Rek'Sai Talon is getting deleted, he just still went in and just gave a free kill. But still, it's fine. I do believe Gen.G still has the late game comp.
Yep.
So all they need to do is just hit the power spike with the Horn items upgrade. So I don't think they need to be hurried.
I think this is also This is also a much bigger lead for T1 than they had in game number 1, right? Even though in game number 1 they also had a bit of an advantage. T1 moving on over. They find Clid, but Clid does have the Tremor Sense, which is another reason why the Rek'Sai is so strong in the late game scenarios, because you can get that sort of free information with the Tremor Sense as to where your opponent is. And I think that's why Gen.G likes it so much. Allows them to play a little bit with more information than they should otherwise have. Life farming out pretty well on this Tahm Kench. Has his items for the moment. Going back to build his stone plate pretty soon. That's going to be where the Tahm Kench really does become a problem.
And he's going for the stone plate. The second item. He's going to be really tanky with the Orb item upgrade.
Oh yeah.
And I wish he goes for the Longcap because it gives a lot of extra armor and magic resistance if you get the Masterpiece item upgrade.
Oh yeah, that's true. I'd like to see that one. Could be the choice that he goes for here is Canna, able to avoid the Searing Charge, picks up his fake ram. And now T1, seeing a couple of members topside, are going to be able to just put down the Rift Herald and now take down this outer turret top as well. Shelly puts her face into it and destroys it. A lot of extra map control now available for T1 as Ruler takes a pierce and the inner turret is going to get chunked by the second charge. Remember, this is T1, the team that was able to have the biggest Herald play possible. The Herald that got a charge on a Nexus turret after destroying outer turret in mid. Absolutely brilliant. But not...
And T1 should win this game because of the stats.
Oh yeah, did they take first turret?
Yeah, they did with the header.
Oh, they did. Okay, so this should just definitely be a T1 game. I guess,
it should
damn,
be.
spoilers. It's not what we wanted to see.
It's fine. It's April Fool's joke. I mean, joke day.
We can't. April Fools only lasts for the first half of April 1st, and currently we only have 50 minutes left of the 1st of April.
So, I mean, it's actually right that if it goes April 2nd, then that means Gen.G hits the late game team fight power spike, so it's still fine.
Yeah, that's true. That means this game does have to go for another 50 minutes. Won't be the longest game of all time, as of course T1 fans will definitely remember, as Canna throws an Orn Horn for no reason, but that's just because it was running out. Now Clid taking a lot of damage there from Cuz, throws in the barrel. Wanted to try and steal away the red buff, isn't able to. As Clid goes underground, gets a bunch of his health back. Okay. Gen.G trying to hold on to whatever vision they can find, but with the fact that the outer turret is still alive and very healthy actually for T1, it means that the Gen.G map control just isn't there like it was in game number 1.
Yeah, the map control is on point, but I don't think they're gonna ever fight again, because we already saw it in game 1. Before they're sure about their team fight, they're not gonna fight. So it's gonna be 10 minutes more farming and maybe 5 minutes of team fighting and game is done.
Yeah, I think you might be right. We're heading towards a very similar game as Blade of the Rune King goes down, but Life not taking a lot of damage here. Has himself a lot of armor right now. And very close to picking up his stone plate. Just the recipe away from that completion. Gen.G not looking to try and actually put extra pressure here onto the outer turret in the mid lane. And the thing I like about the T1 composition is that they can pretty easily run a 1-3-1 with the Sylas and the Tristana being in side lanes. So they're able to change up their playstyle with this composition in comparison to just being all about the team fights in game 1 against the Gen.G comp that was also all about the team fights.
Yeah, currently they're having pressure on both side laners, so I don't think they need to fight eventually, but at the same time, when it comes to the Dragon Soul and when it comes to the Nashor, they have to fight, so they just need to get stronger than before.
Well,
and it seems like he's getting chased.
Yeah, Faker going to get snared, but Gen.G unable to actually close the distance. And we're getting towards, 3,500 gold lead. T1 certainly in the lead right now. Baron's been available for 1.5 minutes, but no one's looked at it just yet. Plus, with double Blade of the Ruin King, T1 will be able to do a hell of a lot of Baron damage this game. As Canna in position, good snare onto Ruler. Devour already on cooldown as now Clid has to flash. He's just dead.
Clid again?
Oh, does have the stopwatch to keep himself alive, but the body slam going to be enough here for T1, who moves straight towards this Baron pit.
From last game, Clid is actually giving something.
Oh, Gen.G,
this is great.
The cooldown of the Devour is just too much, as there's the Cosmic Radiance, keeps 4 people invulnerable, as now Rascal tries to get out, but he's not going to be able to. Great dazzles from Effort as well, and this will confirm a Baron for T1.
That was huge mistake by Clid, and also at the same time, Devour is on cooldown, so great move, T1.
Yeah, this will definitely give them a Baron as well. You can see Life goes all the way back to base. Beat it, he's in the bottom lane. He's done with this. He knows that the Baron's going to be taken and also knows that there is absolutely nothing that he can do about it.
Yeah, and also still questionable positioning by Clid again with Rek'Sai. Because before, at game 1, he also did the same mistake that he was mispositioning against the jungler. I mean, mid lane especially. And Faker this time again. He's killing his ex.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so sad. Hate to see it. But it's good drama. Good drama for this series. But look at this. Like, why are Gen.G pushing up so aggressively when they know that Senna was vulnerable? They knew that the Devour cooldown was still up. I mean, that is a big number for that ability. It's been nerfed about 1 billion times. And so just an overreach by Gen.G. And now they're waiting for a Cloud Drake. Up in another 30 seconds, Gen.G will be able to threaten the Cloud Soul if they're able to lock this one down. And 5 members hanging around this mid lane to try and deny T1 any of their inner turrets that they're looking for.
All they need to do is just group S5, because they cannot win side lane anymore. And Clid is getting cut too many times, so they just need to group S5. But Faker knows that they're gonna group S5, so he's pushing side lane. Really?
Yep, and T1 going to move towards this inner turret as well. So the Baron working out very, very well here for T1 so far. Faker might even just be able to take this inhibitor as well. As you can see, Clid really wants to get towards this Dragon Soul, but look at what they're sacrificing for it. The inhibitor is going to go down in the top lane, and T1 are sieging in this mid lane. They get another minion wave, and I don't think they're going to have the wave clear to lock this one down, as now Rascal throws out the ultimate Ruler there as well, just trying to help him out, but this turret is going to fall. And Teddy and Faker do so much damage through these structures. Second inhibitor to go down, and this is a huge snowball now developing for T1. We're looking definitely like we're heading towards a game number 3.
Gen.G actually lost the way how to win the game this week, because they actually got the Surge Drake, but it was not even Dragon Soul, and they lost the 2 inhibitors in one Nasher. It's by the way, it's first Nasher, it's not second Nasher. It's really hard to get even one single inhibitor with the first Nasher, but they already got the 2 inhibitors, which is so great news for T1 right now.
Yeah, I think that Faker's call to go towards that top side, follow that minion wave in, and just destroy the turret. Like, this is like demolition Tristana right now. Even took Resolve Tree secondary for the demolish, just so that he could do way more damage to these turrets when he gets some time with them. And it's only going to get worse as the items start stacking up. He's now got his Phantom Dancer, and he's building towards his Infinity Edge, and those 3 items on a Tristana are just terrifying. And you can see Teddy, he's actually opting in for a different build here, more of the single target power spike on the Kalista with the Rage Blade second. I actually really like it. This was sort of the main build a long time ago. There's the fake Horn. Good stun to land here onto life, but he's going to survive. See, I identified. Are you proud of me?
Yeah, I'm proud of you. Fake Horn.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. As Rascal still does have the real one available, and we'll see whether Gen.G want to pull that trigger, and they do right now. Cosmic Radiance going to come down.
Great Cosmic
That's
Radiance.
a great timing on that ability as Clid finds himself in no man's land. But the Dawning Shadow comes down from Ruler. A fair bit of damage opportunity there as Rascal soaking a lot of this damage, but Faker is very, very healthy. And now just trying to kite this one out. Rascal does have to go golden as there's the rocket jump to safety from Faker.
Their base.
Yeah, and the Nexus turrets are falling down. This inhibitor turret is going to have to be sacrificed because Gen.G have to save their base. It is just all going to hell and a handbag here for Gen.G. They've lost their jungler, and honestly, Clid hasn't looked like the same player as Canna. Throws in the fake petrifying gaze, and the Nexus is now exposed. Teddy will be able to bounce around this one. No miasma to save Gen.G now, as Clid is going to dive on in. We do have 5v5, but life is very, very low. And now, there's the flash in. Teddy immediately is going to use his QSS, and Clid's going to die one more time. Canna over to the side. Faker just destroying Ruler on his fountain. And Faker should be able to just kill the Nexus here, but no. He wants to kill Ruler beforehand. Cuz moves on over, and the minions do the work. We're going to 9 games in the day, and a game number 3 between T1 and Gen.G.
That was real fast game, by the way. And the decisiveness.
Yeah, the decisiveness, so good.
Yeah, decisiveness. Oh man, my tongue is melting.
No, dude, it's fine. We've casted 8 games already, and they're getting even more intense. I completely understand.
Oh, yeah.
I can barely talk now as well, and I'm speaking my first language. I don't know how you're doing it, Widid. You're a hero.
Thank you so much. Anyways, that shot calling, probably by Faker because he had the silent pressure. It was so impressive. They didn't even care about the Drake. And this just ran into the base, and they just end the game with the first Nasher.
Yeah, really clean
That's
stuff. I actually just... Really clean. That was a T1 that looked like, you know, Coach Kim had come up and he hadn't got out the belt. You know, you talk about, like, Coma and the belt, but Coach Kim, he didn't get out the belt. He just explained, like, look, guys, you got really close to winning in game number 1. I just want to see more of that, and I want to see you just play out your late game intelligently like I know you can. And they absolutely did. Just incredible stuff from T1.
And also by the draft, we were everyone was expecting to Gen.G to win, and some people are saying that T1 is trolling in the draft because randomly, out of nowhere, Faker is picking Tristana again, and he's answering the why he picked the Tristana again.
I actually don't think that Yasuo could have done the same things, and actually playing this style of composition that isn't about the team fight, it's more about we are going to take more on the map than you because we have more side lane pressure. Like, it started off well for Gen.G. You saw how this combo was supposed to work, but it just didn't mean anything because that's not how T1 were winning the game. Prasica, just beautiful there. Faker knew that that was coming but couldn't get into position in time. But honestly, like, this play, like, why was Rascal there? Like, so many plates going over to Teddy and Effort. And yeah, Gen.G were able to get to Soul Point, but who cares? It's a Cloud Soul. It doesn't matter. And I mean, the team fights just weren't there for Gen.G this game.
That first rotation on the top side was the MVP.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, they were losing mid jungle and slowly losing bot lane because of the mid jungle matchup. But that one play, one rotation, just completely changed the game. They got the header, they got the first turret, and 100% of win rate getting after first turret. It's not great.
Yeah.
It's not broken.
I also I gave the player of the game over to Faker. I'm thinking maybe Effort deserved it this game because his Cosmics were super good as well as his Dazzles this game. Plus the way he used the Fate's Call as well was really, really clean. But honestly, Faker played super well. His calls, as far as the late game positioning and everything like that. And honestly, when it comes to Gen.G versus T1, I think the player of the game goes to who makes the decisions. Because all of these players are so damn good mechanically that I think it's about the ideas that you have within the game that are going to really put you over the edge. And Faker is so good with his decision-making in side lanes, as well as here, just zoning out Ruler the whole time. Really, really clean stuff. And you saw, Faker didn't do a massive amount of damage, but if you put damage to structures on this graph, Faker killed so many turrets this game.
Yeah, and maybe I should message to the producer to ask about the top side rotation, who shackled about it.
Hey, yeah, that's true.
Should I try it? Yeah, maybe I should try it.
I think so. I'd like to figure that one out, and you can let the fans know after this one. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going the distance here today. Still one more game to go. It's 11:30 p.m. I'm in my house. I'm worried that my neighbors are going to throw in some sort of noise complaint, but hopefully they don't, and we can bring you a hype game 3 because these games have been super intense. I know a lot of you guys want more of the kills, but honestly, when the players are playing this smart, it's just a joy to watch.
It is. And now I'm so hyped for 9 games. Finally.
Exactly. 9 games, the dream here.